everyone, Pam Gregory, astrologer. I'd like to just share with you today some thoughts I've been having about 2021. And this really, I hope, will provide some context to all of the updates that I'm going to be doing regularly twice a month all through the year. But I think it would be helpful for us just to step back and have some perspective. So we were very aware with the Saturn-Pluto conjunction at the beginning of 2020. That happened in January, but we knew it was going to dominate the year in terms of contraction, control, restriction, hard times, and it certainly delivered on what we expected. But it's now different because two of those three planets in Capricorn, Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter and Saturn, have moved into Aquarius now, leaving Pluto in Capricorn, and it's going to stay in Capricorn until 2024. It's going to start to move into Aquarius in 2023, more fully in 2024. As I've spoken about many times, this is the deconstruction of the old order. So although we have this real shift happening with Jupiter and Saturn moving into Aquarius, shifting the focus more to the people than to the government, there is still going to be this last attempt at this top-down control. And that's going to continue for a little while. However, it is going to be continually eroded if the power that is being held is not transparent, doesn't have integrity and high principle at its core. It will crumble. It will be eroded. And that will accelerate the collapse. So we're moving into a very different phase. 2021 is going to be fast moving, it's going to be very quick, it's going to be full of revelations, disclosures, truths. Our old belief systems are really going to crack and crumble. It's going to be a very exciting time of change and innovation. Some wonderful new technologies, I mean very positive ones coming, if not in 2021, very soon, in terms of free energy. Energy being based more on magnetism, which of course is life-supporting, rather than some of the systems we've had in the past. And gradually we are going to be moving from control, centralization, which is about Capricorn, into decentralization, which is much more of this Aquarian energy, because as I've spoken about, the Aquarian energy is much more horizontally based. There is going to be huge social reform in 2021 and ongoing, massive social reform in a way that, and at a speed that we haven't known in our lifetimes. Now, Jupiter and Saturn, that conjunction is about our worldview, our culture, our values, our economy, our perspective, and that is going to be very different. We're thinking very much now from the power of the people and what the people need, what the people want, rather than this sense of contraction that we've had in 2020. It is a much bigger year of rebellion and revolution as we go into 2021. Now, whenever we have hard aspects, we're going to have some squares between Jupiter in Aquarius and Uranus in Taurus. We're going to have more important, I'd say, squares really all through the year, but exact on the 17th of February, the 14th of June, and the 24th of December between Saturn in Aquarius and Uranus in Taurus. Now, these are fixed signs. Aquarius is fixed air, Taurus is fixed earth. And when you get these squares between fixed signs, there's a sense of a clash, but there's also a sense almost of locked horns, of intractability, that a certain group of people have one set of views on a subject or various subjects, and the other group of people have a very different set of views, and never the twain shall meet. It's quite hard to see the other's point of view. So there's this feeling of a clash, and I think that will add to this kind of feeling of a splitting of the timelines too. So be aware there's going to be that feeling of polarity. And again, although you may be very aware of that polarity, say, is that where you want to live? Is that where you want to put your focus? Or do you want to put your focus on unity consciousness, which is where we're really headed to and we've really got to be? Now, hard aspects has to be said, between Saturn and Uranus tend to happen when we have hard times economically. For instance, in 1930 to 1931, we had a square between Saturn and Uranus. That was, of course, the time of the Great Depression, but equally it did lead to President Roosevelt's New Deal, which catered for more equitable wealth for the people. We also had an opposition, another hard aspect between Saturn and Uranus in 208, 209. So I think, and also, frankly, because Uranus is the planet of revolution, it's in Taurus, banking, finance, economy, we are going to see revolutions in that area. Cryptocurrencies are going to become bigger. Please don't write to me, I know nothing about them. But certainly all of our banking, our economies, our currencies are going to change quite radically. So, but ultimately there is going to be more equitable wealth in the world rather than so much inequality, and that can only be a good thing. Yes, we're moving very much towards a digital age. It's interesting, the last time that Jupiter was in Aquarius, that was in 2009, 2010, that was really the beginning of cryptocurrencies. And again, they're going to go on to a new level as we move through 2021. Saturn was last in Aquarius between 1991 and 1994. That saw the birth of the development of nanotechnology, which has its benefits, but also, of course, its downsides. It was also the beginning of the World Wide Web. So with that background of what was happening last time Jupiter and Saturn were in Aquarius, we are definitely going to see more digitalization in our lives in every way. Now, yes, we have to be aware of that. Many people have written to me and saying, well, is that a good thing or not? Well, Saturn is the planet of control, and it's in Aquarius, which is the sign of technology, the internet. So control by technology. Just check out how the Chinese run their social credit system. There are videos online you can look at to get the idea about that. But I think we have to be aware of that. And again, do we want to feed that timeline as fully as others might want us to jump on that bandwagon? So just be very aware, because the power is increasingly residing with us, even though it doesn't seem that way. The power is with the people and our numbers. Now, Saturn and Aquarius are very, very different archetypes. And they're, as I say, going to be in square all through 2021. They're going to be kind of clashing. And to give you a flavour of that, I'd just like to read you a whole list of possible expressions of those archetypes, okay? Because I think this may help you get an idea of what we're heading for in 2021. Okay, so Saturn is limits, Uranus is no limits. Saturn is control, Uranus is freedom. And that's a big, big theme, by the way, of 2021, control versus freedom. Human rights, big issue. This Jupiter-Saturn conjunction is moving over the Chinese moon and the Chinese ascendant, the chart for that country. Watch China, any developments there. Saturn is the past and the old. Uranus is the future and the new. Saturn's to do with conservatism. Uranus is the radical and the maverick, one who breaks the rules. So Saturn is laws, rules, the status quo. Uranus is rebellion and revolution. Saturn is to do with time. It's linked to, in myth, Kronos, lord of time, chronology, so linear time. The wonderful thing about Uranus is it's about no time. Uranus is in the moment. It's that powerful, ever-present now. So our power comes when we're in the moment, not thinking about the past or fretting about the future. And Uranus is that lightning bolt in the moment feeling. We are moving increasingly towards timelessness and away from a sense of linear time. Saturn is connected to logic. Uranus gets its information a different way by insights and downloads. Saturn is cautious, slow, methodical. Uranus is fast and urgent, goes in leaps. Saturn is order. Uranus is break down to break through. Saturn is obedience. Uranus is all about trying to think of a polite way to say this, awakening to a higher order. Saturn is earthly, tangible, reality and the material. Uranus was the sky god, things that come from the sky, the galactic. That's why it's linked to aviation as well. Saturn is regulation, the centralization of power. Uranus is the deregulation. It's to do decentralization. It's about local communities. Remember, in these battles, Uranus will always win because it's the further out planet, but not without a challenge. Saturn is conventional. Uranus, totally unconventional, alternative, rules astrology. Saturn's conformity. Uranus is all about discovering your uniqueness at a deeper level, your unique essence at a deeper level going into 2021. Saturn is stability, Uranus is instability. Saturn is slow to respond, Uranus is impulsive, reactive, quick. Saturn is old, and Uranus is connected to youth as well. And I think young people will birth incredible innovations and ideas to solve a lot of our world's problems. So you can see how different they are in their expression. So, but Uranus, as I say, will always ultimately win, because not only is the Uranus the further out planet, so it has more dominance, it also Aquarius, and Aquarian energy is coming online so strongly. Jupiter and Saturn there right now, and Pluto will enter it in 2023, finally in 2024. So, in terms of how astrology works, astrology in a way is very like economics or meteorology. It's about the study of cycles. So what we as astrologers do, myself included, and I've just done it in talking about when Jupiter and Saturn were last in Aquarius, we look back at previous cycles and say, okay, what happened then? What manifested then? And if we put that aspect into current reality, knowing what we know with an informed estimate, how do we feel that's going to manifest in our current times? That's what we do. That's what we do. However, there's some massive changes happening right now that I believe changes that whole methodology, certainly for us as astrologers. And I'm going to go through this. Many of them I've already talked about, but I want to recap here for the sake of completeness. First is cosmology, massive. Our Earth is moving through the galactic current sheet. See RoryDuff.com, I've talked about his work many times, he talks about this. So this only happens about once every 12,000 years. So the Earth is moving through the photon belt, hence the massive amounts of neutrino, gamma ray light pouring onto our Earth. We've never known this in our lifetime. The Schumann resonance that measures the heartbeat of the Earth, that's been pretty much rock steady at 7.83 hertz, that's just peaking out of recognition in terms of our recorded history. So the cosmology of this is causing the Earth to upgrade, because all of this new energy, new light is pouring in. Secondly, second big change is it is causing us to upgrade as humans. This is the biggest evolutionary leap for humanity in about 12,000 years. It is huge. So every cell in our body is being upgraded, our entire being. New strands of DNA or old strands of DNA that they thought were junk are now coming online. This is, and people are feeling it already, people I'm talking to. Don't worry if you're not. This is the beginning of the process of ascension, remember, not the end. This is just really the beginning. But many people already, since the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction on the 21st of December, are feeling more psychically sensitive. Abilities that we would currently call superhuman are coming online, telepathy, healing. I believe this is going to cause a kind of blending ability for us as we become more wave and less particle, which is a result of the upgrade and also the result of we're moving from earth to air. I believe we will be able to blend with other humans, other animals, other trees, other birds, nature, the earth. Hence, we will develop a much greater sense of compassion and empathy and kindness. Kindness to animals, kindness to nature, kindness to the earth. Big time, because of this blending ability which is going to come in for us. Aquarius is very much a mental energy. And so I believe in this upgrade, we're just going to have a sense of knowing that we haven't studied anything, read a book, done a course, we just know. And that's going to become a stronger ability because we'll just be able to tap into the Akashic records, tap into that field of knowledge and get our information. So this is a really big, rare, incredibly rare, roughly 12,000 year upshift in the evolution of humanity. The next big difference is that the Earth has apparently been offline from the rest of the galaxy for thousands of years. It is now coming online. And the benevolent galactics that are part of this whole upgrade are very much supporting our efforts here, cheering us on. And many people I know, and I know personally, are channeling these benevolent galactics to get us to a better place in our understanding, because we are becoming galactic citizens. We're becoming much more multidimensional in our understanding. So we're going to be higher frequency, we're going to be more wave and less particle, we're going to be more psychically tuned in, which is going to have all kinds of benefits, but we're going to be more aware of that galactic heritage and future. So the fact the Earth is coming back online is our third very big change. And the fourth big change that I am personally very excited about is this opening up of the evolution of astrology to echo or perhaps lead humanity's evolution, which are these Kuiper belt objects, these KBOs, some of which are dwarf planets. I've talked about these in the last few videos. It's very exciting, but they are really all of the archetypes that I've looked at so far. And again, thanks principally to Kelly Hunter, the wonderful American astrologer. Again, I'll put her website details below. She's done the research on these, but they are all quantum in their understanding of how reality is formed. They're all magical in that sense, but they are also deeply connected to nature and the earth. And this is where we are headed as beings. And I do believe that new planets, new orbiting bodies become available to us, are discovered and become available to us once our consciousness has lifted to a certain frequency in order to access those new archetypes. So, but they are going to help us in our understanding of what new gifts and talents we're going to be developing as we move into this more galactic, more multidimensional age. Now, these four things, and there may be many more, but certainly four that are very obvious to us, are game changers. So it's no longer just, let's look at the same cycle, what happened last time, what can we say we'll repeat this time. It's not going to repeat in the same way because this is a whole new world. It's a whole new earth that we are creating with these new energies, and that is just incredibly exciting. So, and remember the physics of the light, the downward causation causes low frequency manifestations to dissolve. So in this shift, really keep your frequency high. And I say this almost in every video, but because, our future is always unknowable, but it's even more unknowable because of this huge evolutionary shift and because we are moving from earth to air. It's just ether. So it can feel less stable because the earth is heavy and dense and predictable and things we've known, structures we've known all of our lifetimes. We are moving into this more ethereal age where everything is energy. Many people, myself included, have talked about we create our reality. We are really going to get that principle. Consciousness will be the new currency. We are going to create with light. We are going to create from light, and we're going to be very aware of doing that. So we are going to know that we create via our frequency and our intention and clarity. And we are going to be aware of us as beings being more light beings, and we create with light. So, and however much kind of negative stuff is coming at you that doesn't look good in the 3D reality, and there's lots of it about, try and say, and we're all human, I know we can go, eek, that's that's not great, but don't feed it with your focus and your attention. Remember the analogy of the 2 temple dogs I used. If you feed it and give it your focus, you're feeding that timeline, you're strengthening that timeline. The timeline bandwidth is now greater. So anchor in your heart, bring your breath back to your heart, in and out of your heart, anchor always in your heart, and pitch your frequency at unconditional love. So even though the future is unknowable, pitch your frequency. Look into the eyes of your dog, look into the eyes of your child, hug a tree. Anything that will raise that level easily for you to unconditional love. Talk to a friend that you care about. Just try and live at that level, because that's what we're going to be creating with. So it is incredibly exciting, and you can, if you want to, you can keep on coming back to this this video as the context for what we're moving into. I do think the first couple of months of 2021 are going to be pretty wild, chaotic, volatile, tumultuous. Going to rock the boat, upturn the apple cart with a lot of things we have believed, or people we've trusted in, or structures that we've known. I do believe that the astrology is very strong and chaotic those first couple of months, but necessary to get us to where we need to be. It settles down in March. I think mid-May to end July, when Jupiter moves into Pisces, is much more mystical. Even August looks good too. And when Jupiter moves more fully into Pisces in 2022, I think that's going to have beautiful energy too. So it's really this first half of the year that's going to be quite challenging. But remember the big themes of freedom versus control. But don't dive into that polarity too much. Try and keep in unity consciousness, try and keep in love, and stay anchored in your heart. I hope that's helped you. And if you want more information, my website, pamgregory.com, teaching videos, long monthly newsletter, and of course the constant updates. So I'd also like to thank you from the bottom of my heart for all the incredible love that you give back to me. I feel quite emotional now. All the love and support and comments and shares and all that you do for me, because it helps share the very positive message that astrology can give to our for these times, and also to use it as a navigational tool as we move forward into this new age of light and galactic citizenry. God bless. Bye for now.